In day 5 of gentle everyday yoga, we'll wind things down to recover and recharge from the busyness that has become part and parcel of everyday life. Hi, I'm Ciara from Ciara's Home Yoga. For today's practice, we'll need a block. We'll start seated with our legs crossed and we'll bring one hand to our chest and one hand to our belly and connect to our breath. In today's class, we'll focus on elongating our exhales to stimulate our vagus nerve, which allows us to slow down by activating our rest and digest response system. So let's get started. To start, we'll bring our left ear to our left shoulder and we'll extend our right arm, palm up. We'll draw small circles with our hand here. Change direction, small circles in the other way. And release. We'll bring our hand back to our knee and we'll point our chin up to the ceiling now, keeping our ear to our shoulder. Breathing deeply, focusing on elongating our exhales. And release, other side. Right ear to right shoulder and extend our left arm, drawing small circles here. Change direction. We'll bring our hand back to our knee and we'll point our chin up to the ceiling, breathing deeply. Long, slow inhales and long, slow exhales. Breathing through our nose and feeling our belly fill up with every inhalation. And release. We'll move our left hand to our right shoulder blade now, holding on to our left elbow and drawing our elbow back, and breathe deeply here, elongating our exhales. And release, other side, bringing our right hand to our left shoulder blade, holding on to our elbow and drawing our elbow back, breathing deeply. We're lengthening in our spine, so we're making sure that we're not arching in our lower back and our lower ribs are tucked in. And release. We'll make our way to tabletop now, with our hands under our shoulders and our knees under our hips for some cat-cows. We'll inhale, drop our belly, look up. Exhale, curve into our spine, bringing our chin to our chest and squeezing our navel to our spine. And again, we'll repeat this a few more times, making it a moving meditation by moving with our breath. Last one. And inhale back to tabletop. We'll tuck our toes, squeeze our navel to our spine and hover our knees over our mat for a few deep breaths. We're pushing our chest away from our mat throughout and breathe deeply, focusing on elongating our exhales. And release. Our next pose is in tabletop again. I'm going to turn here so you can see me better. We'll place our block to the right side of our mat and extend our left leg, making sure that the arch of our left foot is lined up with our right knee. We'll raise our upper body up and make sure that our pelvis is tucked, our shoulders are back and down. Inhale, reach to the left. Exhale, hand on our block, reaching to the right. And again, moving with our breath. You can change the orientation of the block to find what level works for you. You can even place your hand on your mat if that feels good. I've short arms, so I need to use a block here. We'll hold this pose now, breathing deeply. Inhale, raise our upper body up, back to tabletop, and we'll switch out our legs, bringing our block to the left-hand side and extending our right leg. Again, the arch of our right foot is lined up with our left knee. Raising our upper body, pelvis tucked, shoulders back and down. We'll inhale, lean to the right. Exhale, hand to our block, stretching to the left. We'll repeat this a few times, moving with our breath, changing the orientation of the block to find out what works for you, or bringing your hand to your mat. We'll hold this last stretch for a few deep breaths. Breathing deeply and evenly with every breath. Inhale back up, and exhale, we'll return to tabletop. We'll place the block at the front of our mat now, and we'll lower our elbows into the exact position our hands were in. We've two options here. We can clasp our fingers together, or we can hold the block between our hands. Before moving our knees back an inch or two and coming into puppy pose by melting our chest to our mat. We'll raise the block up to point to the ceiling, or as much as feels good, pushing into the block with each hand and breathing deeply here, remembering to elongate our exhales with every breath. We'll check in with our jaw and behind our eyes and make sure we're not holding any tension there. And release, coming back to tabletop. We'll move our block out of our way and we'll lower down to come onto our belly for some cobra flows. Hands under shoulders, shoulders back and down. Inhale, up to cobra, elbows tucked into our body. Exhale, lower down. And we'll repeat this a few more times. Again, moving with our breath. Cobra is the exact opposite of sitting, so it's a great stretch to do every day. Last one. Now we'll inhale up to cobra, and exhale, we'll turn to look at our left foot, keeping our shoulders back and down. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, looking over our left shoulder to our right foot. Inhale, back to center. And exhale, lower back down. We'll do broken wing pose now. So we'll extend our left arm out, bringing our shoulders back and down. We'll push into our right hand to come onto our side. You can hold your head up or you can place your head on the mat, whatever feels better for you. We have a few options with our legs. We can keep our feet flexed one on top of the other, or we can move our top leg behind our lower knee. Or for a third option, we can hold on to our ankle, making sure our top shoulder is rolled back and down. And breathe deeply, feeling into all our senses. And release, lowering onto our belly again. We'll extend our right arm and push into our right hand to come over onto our side. We can hold our head up or we can rest it on our mat. Our feet are flexed and stacked, or we can place our top foot behind our lower knee. Or for a third option, holding onto our foot, rolling our top shoulder back and down, and breathe deeply here. Checking in with our exhales again to stimulate our vagus nerve. And release, rolling back to our belly. We'll tuck our toes and we'll make our way to down dog. In Adho Mukha Svanasana, we'll draw our tailbone to the ceiling and our chest to our thighs. Our shoulder blades are drawn down our back and we'll walk our legs out here, bending one leg and then the other. On our next inhale, we'll step forward with our right foot to the outside of our left hand. Lower our knee and untuck our toes. We'll use our block here. We'll straighten our arms and bring our hands to our block, changing the orientation of the block to find out what works for you, and breathe deeply. Or another option is we can place our forearms on our block. Breathing deeply, focusing on elongating our exhales. We'll bring our hands back to our mat, moving our block out of the way, and we'll step back to down dog. Drawing our tailbone to the ceiling and our chest to our thighs. We'll take a cleansing breath here, inhaling through our nose and exhaling through our mouth. On our next inhale, we'll step forward with our left foot to the outside of our left hand. Lower our knee and untuck our toes. Rolling our shoulders back and down, we'll use our block to find a position that works well for us. Hands on our block or our forearms on our block, whatever feels better for you. And breathe deeply, elongating our exhales. Breathing deeply and evenly with every breath. We'll check in with our abdomen and feel it filling up with air and deflating with every breath. And release. Bringing our hands back to our mat, moving our block out of the way, and we'll step back to tabletop before sitting on our heels, and we'll come into child's pose with our knees and our feet together, resting our forehead on the mat. We've an option here to clasp our hands behind our back and move them away from our body, or you can rest your hands beside your shins and breathe deeply. If your hands are clasped, we're squeezing our shoulder blades together, and our shoulder blades are down our back, breathing deeply. And release. Hands to our mat, and we'll push ourselves up onto our knees. Our knees are hip width apart, our pelvis is tucked, and our shoulder blades are back and down. We'll inhale, lean back, exhale back to center. And we repeat this 2 more times, moving with our breath, making sure that our pelvis remains tucked. Last one. And release. We'll bring our hands to our mat and cross our feet behind us to come to sit with our legs crossed. We'll place our right foot in front of our left foot, shoulders back and down, and we lean forward. Exploring different variations of the pose to find what works for you. Our hands straight on our block, or we can bring our forearms to our block. And breathe deeply here. We're lengthening in our spine. If it feels good, you can bring your forearms directly to your mat and breathe deeply. Feeling the air working its way into our right hip and back out. Releasing any tension in our hip on our exhales. Checking in with our jaw again, letting go of any tension. Breathing deeply and evenly with every breath. We'll inhale and slowly reverse out of the pose before switching out our legs, bringing our left leg in front of our right leg. Shoulders back and down and lean forward, coming into a variation that suits you. You might find one hip tighter than the other, so it's good to play around with the variations again and find the one that works for you. And breathe deeply. Letting go of any tension in our left hip on our exhales. Remembering to elongate our exhales throughout this practice. And release, coming back to sitting up. We'll extend our left leg and bring our right leg beside our left knee. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, we'll twist to the right, bringing our left elbow to our right knee and looking over our right shoulder. Our left foot is flexed and we're grounding our heel into our mat. On our inhales, we're lengthening in our spine, and on our exhales, we're increasing the twist. And release, other side, switching out our legs. Inhale, both arms up. Exhale, right elbow to left knee and twist. Flexing our right foot and looking over our left shoulder, and breathe deeply. And release, coming back to center. We'll bring our hands behind our knees now and we'll rock and roll, squeezing our navel to our spine as we do this. Last one. Before bringing our hands to our knees, and we'll roll down onto our mat one vertebrae at a time. We'll bring our feet behind our bum, close enough that we can skim the back of our heels when we raise up in our shoulders and our head, before lowering our head. Inhale, coming up to bridge. Exhale, lower back down. And we'll repeat this a few more times, moving with our breath. Our shoulders remain back and down, and our knees remain directly over our ankles here. We'll bring a smile to our face when we're doing this pose. When we smile, our airways open even further. Last one. And release. We'll move our feet now to the edge of our mat and we'll windscreen wiper our legs, moving our knees to one side and then the other. And again, breathing deeply. And release. We'll bring our knees into our chest now. And we'll hold on to the outside edge of our foot, drawing our knees into our armpits for happy baby pose. In this pose, our shins are perpendicular to our mat. And we'll breathe deeply. If it feels good, you can rock from side to side. We'll check in with our jaw and behind our eyes and make sure we're not holding any tension there. And release. We'll roll over to one side and push ourselves up to sitting. I hope you enjoyed today's class and you'll join me again for more gentle everyday yoga. Namaste. Please consider subscribing to Ciara's Home Yoga. As I'm new to YouTube, I'd really appreciate your support. Or if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you.